everybody, WildDucati here. Once again, we're doing a little demo review of the new 2016 brand new 959 Panigale. This is the 899 successor, and this is in the Arctic Silver with the red rims, Pirelli Corsa, Rosso Corsa tires. And for those of you, if you haven't seen the 959 yet, it's got a little bit of a different headlight setup than the 899, and then the front fairings are also the same right here as the 1299, so it has a little bit of a different shape to them. Same thing with the turn signal mirrors, a little different. They're not the folding style. If you can see the tachometer and the instrument cluster here, still digital, not color, but just the same as the 899. One thing I like about this too is that the pegs, if you guys have ever seen the 899 pegs, they're extremely slippery. So these are these billet aluminum, much more gritty and much more grips on a lot better. So I like that a lot about this. The heat shield is a little bit different too, has a little better connection than the 899, and this has the same engine as the 1299, just a lower cc. It's actually 955 cc, and it has that same circular tip exhaust right here as the 1299 with a black powder coated cover instead of the all silver like the 899. So let's go on and have some fun. Oh, and the tail section too, I don't know if you saw the tail section, is different right here. So it doesn't have a panel, it's just a outlet. Tail light setup's kind of the same as well. So yep, so far so good. I like that white color too. That's definitely eye-catching. A little chilly out today, so I'm kind of got the sniffles. And it's lighter than the 899 too. That's one thing that's nice. Pretty sure it's lighter. At least it feels lighter. Same setup as far as the sport, wet, and race modes. So we're going to start out in the sport, and then I'll go to the race mode later. A little bit louder than the 899. Now, I don't know if this has the quick downshift. I know it doesn't have the active suspension that the 1299 has. Sorry, just getting my personal preference of the clutch lever here. There we go. Friction zone. Seat's pretty rocky. Not the most comfortable of seats, but hey, what are you gonna do, right? It's a duck. It sounds good though. I'll tell you what, that quick shifter really grabs a hold of those gears. Much more evened out too. It's not as like chirpy as the 899, so it's a much more fluid transition in between the gears. It's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Definitely sounds really good too, especially that big pop that happens when the gear shifts up. And I like the mirrors, the side mirrors here. They are a lot further out. And so that's really nice because before all you're seeing is your elbows. I think it's a much more refined track bike than the 899 as far as the power band being lower, so getting out of those corners, those, you know, little slower chicanes and the slower corners. Just gotta find that friction zone. But you can definitely feel the power difference between this and the 899. A lot more, it's got about 50 more cc. The 899 is 898 cc's technically, and then this one is 955 cc. Very smooth bike though. Going through the gears, even at 4,000 RPM. Not getting after it, but very smooth. About the same riding position as the 899, so it's very comfortable for me, for a tall guy. It has the same exact ride height as the 899 as well, and so if you're going from an 899 to this, the only difference you're really going to feel is that delivery of power is much smoother, and it's a lot more power too. Even though the 50 cc jump is, or 60 cc jump almost, is really nice. And there's no quick downshift, unfortunately, but like the 1299 has. I think that's part of like that whole active suspension kind of upgrade. And this thing, what amazes me too is that this thing has the same sticker price as the 899 did going right out of the gate, which is really smart of Ducati to do that. So it's $14,995 for the red, and I think $15,995 for the white option. Slow down here, we can get some distance from this dude. Sounds great though. Love that sound. Nothing like it. You can always tell a duck sound. So they are planning a track day, Eurocycles of Tampa Bay. I wonder if they're going to bring the demo 959 on. Excuse me. Very smooth, and the engine braking is not so crazy like the 899 was. It's much more refined. I mean, I gotta say, this is if I were to have an 899 and a 959 next to each other, you're probably thinking like, duh, of course he goes to the 959. But it's not that it's just a it's not that it's a newer bike or a more cc. It's a much smoother ride, and I can tell this bike would be great going through some of the corners, especially like the left, the big lefts that Jennings, because in some of those corners, or like going from one corner to another, you kind of get that chirpy response from the throttle. Because the 899 really has a very low power band at high RPMs. That's really where it kind of evens out. So I'll shut up for a minute and we can hear this bad boy. Swinging around here, head back a little bit. No big problems with the heat underneath the seat. The handlebars do seem a little bit wider, but I don't know if that's just because like maybe this is opened up a bit. But oh yeah, it's definitely got the quick downshift. Good brakes. Same ABS system as on the 899. So that's not a big, big jump, big change. We're used to that. That quick shifter, I think they, I don't know if they changed the quick shifter on it, but it's much more responsive. The rear sets are awesome on this thing, I gotta say. I mean, that's I think I'm gonna go back to the shop right now and go buy some some different rear set pegs, because these things are just fantastic. I don't know what, they're just the stock ones, but they're, it makes a world of difference when you're feeling the bike a whole lot better. Gotta love that exhaust too. Definitely really feel the power between your legs. Excuse me. Yep, so there she is. Not a big fan of the white, just because, I mean, you're gonna see every little piece of dirt on it, and that's just like that would just mess with me. Halogen lights, LEDs right here at the bottom. They got like 4 little eyelids, and then they got the high beams on the interior side. Double radiator, big old brakes on the side. Excuse me. Bike wants to run, that's for sure. Sounds great. Let's oblige this fine piece of machinery. Gonna adjust these for the taller guy. And let's put it into our race mode. They tap twice, hold it in. Braking control 1, ABS 1. Overall, very, very nice bike. Good riding position. Definitely better than the 899. Absolutely. Now, does it have as much? I mean, having ridden the 899 for close to 2 years now, and going through each process of service interval and seeing how the bike was when it started out and how it is now. I mean, it just seems like it has more character, the 899. But not in a good way. And I say that very, not in a good way, but like, it's a little more like the bike, you can feel what the bike's doing a little bit better, versus this is just very tame. Even in race mode, it's just very fluid. Very, very, easy ride. The suspension does a lot of work. Slow down here for these corners, we can have some fun. There ain't nobody behind me. Very smooth shifting gears, even in the corner. I know that people you might be thinking like, oh, why are you doing that? Shifting gears in the corner? You just want to, get dialed in before you even set up for the corner. But I mean, let's be honest. How many people out there on the street have ever shifted in a corner? I have. I'll be honest. Does that make me a bad rider? I don't think so. It's just or how it goes. Same problem with this though. This seems up really, really high. I like mine a little more angled down. And it seems like, so this is a lot higher. The brake lever is a lot higher in elevation than this is. I don't like that per se. I don't like that, like non-symmetrical, asymmetrical feel to it. The weight in the corner is really nice. I mean, it's being very lightweight. A lot like the 899, sticks to the race line wherever you want it to go really well. Now, I don't know the dimensions of it. I don't know if there is a longer wheelbase on this or on the 899. Great bike. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 899's successor, 959 Panigale. So check it out at Eurocycles. I'll put a link in the description. If you guys are local, come on by. Take this bike out, the demo bike. And there it is.